what we're going to look at in this video is how to make this little Tooth Fairy pillow, or come to that, pillow for anything. Okay, it's got a little pocket in there where you can put your tooth, and after the tooth has been taken out by the Tooth Fairy, you can put the money inside it. It's nice and soft. The filling is optional, as I'll tell you later on, but if you fill it, it's quite nice and soft, and it'll slip under a child's pillow without causing them any annoyance, and it's easy for you to get out. It's something for you to feel, because the pom-poms will give you an indicator as to where it is. So we're going to look at how you put it together and a quick way of sewing it. Hope you enjoy. One of the first things you're going to have to do is to sew this pom-pom trim along the edge of the darker felt, which is going to become your pocket. So you need to do that first before you attach anything to the square. I'm doing this with fine thread because basically I don't want to see it. So I'm going to do a row of back stitches along there, and then when they're done we'll come back. Right, this has now been sewn to the front of the darker piece of felt. You can see the stitching on the back, but you won't be able to see that once it's stitched onto here, because obviously it's going to be hidden. Right, now we need to put the two pieces of white felt together, and if it makes life any easier you can put a couple of pins in here to make sure it's not going to move. My trusty pin cushion, which you've no doubt seen on my blog in the past. Then this will be pinned to there, and this time make sure all of your pieces are lined up. If you don't, you'll be cursing later on. There. And there. And now we're going to do the blanket stitch. And for those of you who've never done blanket stitch before, it's a very easy stitch. It's something that when we were kids we learnt to do, even when we were at school. But we don't want to see, I've put a big knot on the end, but you don't actually want to see this knot. So it's going to be hidden inside the work. So you make sure that when you start it, you start here so that it's inside. And I'm going to go in, let me see if I start about there. Enough room to do a couple of stitches from the end. Okay, so it's in there, pull my thread through and make sure that that's tucked well inside. Right, now then, to do my first blanket stitch, I hold that there, I go in there and make sure, oops, my hands are in the way, make sure that you go in and you go in straight. Somebody once asked me why I was going in straight and not at an angle, and it's because you wanted to come out straight at the back. If you go in at an angle when you do blanket stitch, you'll find that the back will be all over the place, and you don't want this to look bad at the back. Right, so made that, which basically looks a little bit like a chain. Hold that there, and then approximately the same width apart as that, keep your blanket stitch all nice and neat, go straight in again, wrap the thread around your needle and pull. Okay, now don't pull too tight, because if you pull too tight it'll pucker and it won't look nice. Okay, it's just enough to hold it, and then we go. I can take this pin out now because it's done its job. In again, through. Right, now then, for anyone, you see the stitches are nice and neat at the back as well. for anyone watching this video, you don't have to start here. You can start at any point that you like around this little cushion. So it really doesn't matter, as long as you are going to be happy with the point at which you end, because you're going to be coming all the way around the edge and ending at the same point. Pushing your pom-poms out of the way. When we get up here to the pom-poms, you can sew the pom-pom, the edge of the pom-pom trim in as well to make it look neater. So I get to there, and my next stitch will be in there. And then the next one in there, making sure I'm right at the back. And there we are, we've secured the edge of the pom-pom trim as well. Now you can see that a little pocket is emerging in there, and this is where we can put things like teeth for the Tooth Fairy, which is why I'd like to call these Tooth Fairy pockets. So I'll carry on, and I'll be back in a minute when I've managed to sew around the majority of this, and we'll show you what to do next. Right, now I've got to this stage and I decided to put a bow on there to make it look a bit prettier. You can see that I've gone around 3 sides of the little Tooth Fairy pillow. Here we are, not quite finished yet. Tooth Fairy's not going to find many teeth if they fall out of the bottom. Right, so if you wish, you can leave it as it is and just finish sewing and it's done, or you can put in some wadding and make it more into a little pillow. So the time to put the wadding in is now, not earlier on. And you don't want too much, because if you oops, sorry, in the right place would help. If you put too much in, then you'll find that there isn't really room to put the tooth. It'll make the cushion too fat. Okay, so a little in there. Push it into the corners now while you've got the chance. You should be cursing afterwards if you don't. On a personal note, I don't think it needs much more than that. So a little bit down here at the bottom. And then we're going to continue with the blanket stitch. Make sure that's in out of the way. And I'll continue with the blanket stitch until I get to the end. Right, now I've got round to the very end, and this is the first stitch that we started with. So when you get to here, what you need to do is to go into that stitch, so you pick it up and complete your blanket stitch, then turn it over and go in there at the back. No, actually, sorry, turn it over, go around there like that, so you're giving yourself a little bit of an anchor. And then go in here at the back so you complete your stitch. And what I tend to do now is I'll go through the back of this and oops, get that in the right place. There we are. So you've completed your blanket stitch there at the back. Pull it through to there and then pull it, cut it, and then when you push it back out, it'll be the end will have disappeared. And so you have your little pocket to put a tooth in, and a little pocket to put the money in after you've after the Tooth Fairy, of course, has taken it away. Now you can decorate these for boys as well if you like, because you can use different ways of decorating them. I'll put some links to my blog to give you some ideas of what you can do. Hope you have fun, and bye for today.